So welcome everyone. Jacqueline Morosco of Spirited Practice, and today we are going to start on our backs. So I'm going to invite you to come down onto your back body with your knees bent and maybe one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And just settling in, letting your body, your feet, your arms, your head become heavy. Long, smooth breaths. And after a couple of breaths, starting to focus, breathing in nose, chest, belly in, and breathing out, belly, chest, nose out. Long, smooth breaths. And as you're creating a rhythm with your breath and your body, noticing which parts of your body are connected to the floor, which parts of your body you feel, like where do you feel sensation. And then once that rhythm is going with your breath and your body, taking your arms down to your sides. And then we're just going to start by tilting through the pelvis. So inhale, lift the pubic bone up towards the sky. Exhale, tilt it down towards the ground. So you're not taking your pelvis off the floor. You're just tilting back and forth, feeling that connection to the lower back body on the floor as you breathe. And if there's any painful sensation, of course, stopping, like always wanting to have comfort and ease through your movements. And eventually we'll come to a place where we stop. And again, pausing to feel your body on the floor. And then we're going to start to move. You're going to inhale, right arm up, hips come up, chest comes up, and turns away from the arm. Exhale, hips come down, head to the center, arm come down. Welcome. And once you get set up, you can take your mask off if you choose, or you can keep it on. And alternating sides, so left arm up, head turns away, hips and chest up, exhale, back to center. We're just going to alternate sides. So once you get yourself warmed up, we're inhaling, one arm up, the head turns away from the arms, the hips and the chest come up. Exhale, hips down, arm down, head back to center. We're going to do a couple more on each side with your breath, no rush. So it's really an opportunity for us to check in with all the parts of the spine as we're moving with our breath. And the next time you finish your left arm, again, we're going to pause, feel your body on the ground, connect with your breath, and then we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. And holding on to that knee, we're going to roll through the foot a couple of times in each direction. And then if it feels good, I want you to take the knee around in some circles, noticing how it feels in your hip and exploring, seeing what feels good. And then we're going to interlace the fingers on the back of the thigh, same side, right? So now the inhale, you're going to press the bottom of the foot up towards the sky, straightening the leg. So isometrically, hands pulling on the thigh, pressing into the hands, foot is flexed. Then exhale, knee towards the chest. Inhale, press up the sky like you're trying to lift up the ceiling tiles, and exhale in towards the belly. And just moving with your breath. And when that leg goes up, definitely flex that foot like you're engaging all your muscles, trying to press up. And then exhale in towards the chest. And one more time, leg up on the inhale, and then in towards the chest on the exhale. We're going to release the hands, take your foot down to the ground, and then bring in your left knee And starting by rolling through the foot a couple of times in each direction. And when you're ready to move on, taking the upper leg into big circles, again, a couple of times in each direction, noticing, you know, what's going on in your lower back body, in your hip, in your thigh. And eventually coming to a place where we stop, interlacing the fingers on the back of the thigh. Again, on the inhale, pressing the leg up, thigh into the hands pressing onto the thigh, the foot's flexed, and then as you exhale, knee in towards the chest. Inhale, extend, and this should be very active in your legs, right? So really press that thigh into your hands and pull the thighs into the hands into the thigh. Exhale in towards the body. Move with your breath. And again, the next time that you exhale and the knee comes towards the chest, we're gonna take both knees towards the body now. Feet are flexed. Now you're gonna take your femurs, your thigh bones, so that they're perpendicular to the ground. The feet are flexed. Your hands are pressing into your thighs, and the thighs are pressing into your hands. Isometrically, press, press, press. Keep breathing. Feel your pelvis and your shoulder blades and the back of your head on the floor as you press your hands into your thighs and thighs into your hands. And even though we're stationary, it's a pretty active pose, right? So see if you can connect with your lower abdominal muscles, connect with your breath. Like I can feel my body temperature going up already. Then on one of these exhales, we're going to take the knees in towards the chest and carefully bring your feet down to the ground. And we're going to stretch the arms out to the sides. And so now your knees are pointing up towards the sky, and so is your face. We're going to inhale here, and then exhale, take the knees to one side, head to the other side. Inhale back to the center and alternate sides. So your head's going in the opposite direction of your knees. If that's appropriate for your neck, inhale back to the center, and then do the second side. And we're going to do one more time on each side with your breath. And then pause again. Notice how everything is feeling in your body. And then you're going to make your way up. Hello, everybody. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And if you don't have a blanket under your knees and it feels like painful, you just take your mat and fold it up a little bit so it makes it a little bit thicker. All right, so you're on your hands and knees. Wrists are slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips. You're going to engage those lower abdominals. Inhale is going to be here with a flat back. Exhale towards the ground. And you'll move like that with your breath. Inhale is up. Vision stays towards the ground. Exhale towards the floor. Inhale up. Exhale down. Noticing all those wonderful sensations in your body. And one more time. Now, when we exhale towards the ground, I want you to walk your hands and arms over to the left, reach your hips over to the right. So you get a nice long stretch through your side body. Keep breathing. On one of your inhales, coming through the center, and then we'll move to the second side. So arms and hands over to the right, hips to the left. And again, long, smooth breaths. Noticing how your body feels as you're moving. One more time, we're going to make our way to the center. And then you can sweep your legs around and sit on up. And I'm guessing not everybody has tennis balls. So would you bring the basket right out? Yeah. Thanks. All right, so once you get your tennis balls, and I'll give you something to do until you get your tennis balls, we're gonna take the tennis balls and they're gonna go, you're gonna lift up your legs so your butt stays on the ground, and you're gonna press the tennis balls in towards your sits bones. Okay, so you need 2. And then you're gonna have your feet on the ground, knees pointing up towards the sky, and we're gonna move the knees side to side. And so we want to feel the bone kind of pressing into the tennis ball, but we don't want to feel pain. Well, I hope that you don't want to feel pain. Okay, so just moving side to side. And if you've never done this before, it might feel a little weird. It might feel kind of good too. Now, when you feel like you've had enough, we're going to stop. We're going to take the tennis balls out. Now you're going to lift up one glute, and again, you're not going to put the tennis ball under your sits bone, right? You're going to put it just to the outside of the bone so that it's right in the center of your glute. And then you're going to lean over to the other side, which is going to be a little bit harder because the tennis ball is there. And then we're going to sit down there. So you have your pelvis, right? And the tennis balls are just on the outside of the sits bones, okay? And again, we're going to move the knees side to side. And you're still breathing. And what I tend to do, like as I'm moving, like oh, there's a spot there where that might feel kind of good, and kind of move my body or the tennis ball into that spot. So since we're working on the neck, hips, and the whole back, you know, waking up those big muscles in the lower part of our body is important, as well as getting into some of the connective tissue. Now, eventually we're going to, again, come to a place where we stop, and then you're going to take your tennis balls. Now you're going to keep your butt on the floor, lean forward, and then put the tennis balls to the lower back. Gently lean your body back. And now if you start to lean back and it hurts, you're going to lift yourself up and move the tennis balls or do something like that. So again, now we're leaning back. You could be on your hands, you could be on your elbows. It's going to be what feels good. And we're going to take the knees side to side. And again, as you're exploring, if something else feels better, or you get this idea, oh, this will feel really good with the tennis ball, go ahead and do it. Now, again, eventually we're going to come to a place where we stop. We're going to take one of the tennis balls out, and then you're going to keep one tennis ball, and it's going to be right in the center of your glute. You're going to come onto your elbow, and then you control how much weight is in that tennis ball, right? If I didn't have my elbow on the ground and all my weight was in the tennis ball, it would feel much differently than it feels now. And you're going to roll. I see some interesting faces. It's actually a wonderful way to relieve stress, believe it or not. Now, you're going to make your way back up onto your hands, and now you're going to take that, and I'm using my elbow to represent my sits bones. You're going to take the tennis ball around your sits bone, that same side that we were just on. So you could be on your hands or you could be on your elbows, but you're going to take that tennis ball again around the bone. You're not sitting on the bone. Anybody kind of liking this? I obviously like it because I do it all the time. Okay, now when you start to feel done, we're going to take that tennis ball and move over to the second side. So again, right into the center of the glute, maybe onto your elbow. You control how much weight is pressing into that tennis ball, right? So here I am on my elbow. If I want to take some of the weight off, I'm going to put my weight into my elbow or my legs and take it out of the hips. Keep breathing. And it's always interesting to see what happens to your breath as you're doing this. Like sometimes, especially if you're new to this or if it's causing you some sort of pain, you might hold your breath. And so maybe pause and take a couple of breaths. Now, again, eventually we are going to make our way up onto our hands. And again, around your second sits bone. Okay? And you may have noticed that it feels similarly or really differently side to side, left to right. And if you were to repeat the same thing on a different day, it could feel completely different. Okay, so now once, oh, I just found a spot. I just have to stay here for just a second. Once you are done, we're going to put the tennis balls off to the side. I want you to give a little bit of attention to your feet. So it might be stretching your toes. It might be a little bit of massage. It might just be running your fingers or the tennis ball on your feet, right? So we want to stimulate, and then fingers around the ankle, up the lower leg, around the knee, up into your thigh. And when you get up to your thigh, I want you to do all the different planes. So the back, the sides, the front. And when you are up by your hip, you're going to switch to the second side. And again, stretching out the toes, massaging your foot, running the fingers along the foot, around the ankle and the lower leg, around the knee, and into the upper leg. Now from here, when you're done, we're going to come into a kneeling position, and you don't have to have a block, or you may have a block. So we're going to be in a kneeling position. We're slowly making our way up towards standing. And at first, I just want you to inhale your shoulders up towards your ears and exhale them back. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, roll them down the back body. Moving with your breath. And after your next exhale, we're going to sweep both arms up in line with the ears and exhale, hands onto the pelvis, forehead towards the ground or a block. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, hands onto the pelvis with the palms facing out, forehead towards the ground. A few more times at your pace with your breath. Inhale is up, exhale is down. And this next one will be our last one. Now when you come up, what I want you to do, you're going to interlace your fingers, turn your palms down, reach up towards the sky. I'm of course adjusting myself for the camera just so that you know. All right, so now you're pressing up with your hands, right? Keep breathing. If it hurts, you're going to release your hands and take them so that they're pressing towards the center. You're going to drop your chin towards your chest. Keep breathing. So now you're looking down, your chin is towards your chest. And the head, if it's okay with your body, is going to stay leaning forward. Inhale, you're going to reach up towards the sky. Exhale, you're going to come down to shoulder height. But your head, like I'm looking up to look at all of you, but your head is going to stay forward. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down to shoulder height. And again, if it causes you any pressure interlacing the fingers, you undo them and take them so that your hands are pressing towards the center. Last one, inhale up, exhale down. Now, here we are, we're going to keep the arms at shoulder height. On an inhale, we're going to lift up the head, and you're going to release your fingers and press back. Turn your palms forward. Inhale, arms come towards one another, chin towards the chest. Exhale, turn your palms out, press back. Inhale, head comes up. Exhale, chin towards the chest, hands pressed towards one another. And just, it's kind of like breaststroke. Swimming, of course. Last one. And after you exhale, you're gonna carefully release your arms down to the side. Inhale, pick up your head. We're gonna come up to standing. And you're gonna find a tennis ball. And we're gonna roll through the feet for just a moment. How's everybody doing? Heart rate, body temperature. You're all still breathing. Make sure that you do your second foot if you haven't done so already. And if by chance you're someplace where you don't have a tennis ball, you can press through your feet. There's lots of different things that you can do to get those feet feeling alive. So eventually we're going to come to a place where we roll that tennis ball off to the side. Now you could, for the next couple of poses, you could take a block and press it between your thighs. You can also do this without a block. The block gives us some resistance as we're pressing in towards the center. So the inhale, first you're gonna feel your feet on the ground, connect with your breath. And then as you inhale, you're gonna take your arms up towards the sky, palms pressing in towards the center, coming up onto your toes if appropriate. Exhale, heels down, arms down. With your own breath, inhale is up, exhale is down. We're going to do it 2 more times with your breath, meaning you're not supposed to try to keep up with me or anybody else in the room. Nice. Now, the next one, again, you can come up onto your toes or keep your feet flat. Inhale, arms come up, heels come up if you're doing that, and then exhale, you're gonna sit into a balanced chair or a regular chair, okay? So you decide, and we're gonna hold the chair position with the heels up or down, take the hands to the heart center, make sure the low back is feeling good, right? So your butt sticks out, but not so much that you have a big arch in your back. Then heels down, inhale, exhale, slide into a forward bend. And then with your own breath, we're going to inhale halfway up and exhale in towards our forward bend. At your own pace, inhale is halfway up, exhale in towards your legs. 2 more times. Inhale halfway up, exhale all the way down. Now this next inhale, we're going to come all the way up. And if you do have a block between your thighs, we're going to take that out. And one more time, I want you to roll through your shoulders, but this time I want you to do 1 at a time. So you're gonna inhale up, exhale, slide it down the back, and then do the second side. Okay. And when you complete the second side, we're gonna pause for a moment. You're gonna take your feet as wide as your hips, maybe a little bit wider. And you see, we weren't here for everybody to get their props. Okay, so we're gonna inhale up and you're gonna exhale, slide down the outside of your leg, inhale up, exhale down the second side. Now, when you come down this first side, you may want to slide up the outside elbow. We're just gonna do that a couple of times. And then if you want to look up towards the lifted elbow, you're going to add that in as well. All right, and then you're going to all go get a strap, which are inside the door on the left-hand side, unless you have one. Okay, so once you get your strap, we're still going to stand with our feet about as wide as our hips. And you might have your strap folded in half, especially if it's a really long one. So So your feet a little bit wider than your hips or hip distance, but no wider than the width of the mat, right? And you're gonna hold that strap, again, about the same distance as your feet, a little bit wider than the shoulders. And now the inhale, you're gonna stretch those arms up overhead while you're pulling on the strap. Exhale, back down to shoulder height. Inhale up, and there's always a constant pulling on the strap as you're moving. We're gonna do it 2 more times. Inhale is up, exhale is down. 1 more. And this time we're gonna hold the strap at shoulder height. And if you need to give yourself a little break, you let go, of the pressure, and then you're gonna pull 1 more time. Now, inhale's gonna be up. Exhale, you're gonna sit down. Inhale up, exhale, sit down. No spaghetti arms here, right? You're gonna pull on the strap so your arms are really active. And if they get tired, you stop. 2 more. Beautiful. Now, when you come up this time, we're gonna relax the arms, jiggle your shoulders for just a moment. Everybody's still doing good, still with me. Okay, so this time, you're going to, again, feet are a little bit wider than the hips, so are the hands. You're gonna inhale up, pull on the strap. You're gonna take the weight into the left foot, take your right foot off the ground. Now you're gonna bring that leg out to the side. So you're pulling on the strap, and if it feels like you're gonna fall, you're gonna take your foot to the ground or release your arms. Now next time that foot comes down to the ground, we're gonna relax the arms for a moment. Inhale, bring those arms up, weight into your second foot. For me, it's the right foot. Lift the left leg off the ground and start to take it out to the side. And if you feel like you're losing your balance, pull on the strap a little bit. Keep breathing. And 1 more. Then that leg comes down. We're going to bring the arms down. So you can put your strap down on the ground. And 1 more time, roll through the shoulders. Now for this next one, you may want to make your way to a wall, back of the sofa, the bar at the back of the room. We're going to have, or you can do it in the center of the room, right? You're going to take your weight onto your right foot. We're going to lift the left knee up. You're going to take the left hand towards the knee and reach towards the right foot and bring the lower leg maybe parallel with your body, right? So, and if you're at the wall, maybe you're holding on, right? Then you're going to sit down and place that ankle onto the top of your thigh, hands to your heart center. Or 1 hand on the wall, 1 hand on your heart center. Sit back like you're sitting into a chair. Keep breathing. Possibly you're going to start to bring your forearms towards that shin. Keep your focus, so find a non-moving spot on the floor to look at. We call it a drishti, a focal point. Inhale, come on up. Release that foot. Now you're going to take your hands onto your hips, feet a little bit wide, and you're going to make some big circles with your hips. So notice when we were doing that with the leg, if you felt it in your low back or your hips, or if it was just about the balance. Did you switch directions? If you did, you switch directions for a few times. And then we're going to take the second side. So again, you might start in the center of the room, right knee comes up, right hand on the knee, left hand on your flexed foot, bringing that lower leg across the body. Keep breathing. Possibly, you might start to sit down, place that ankle onto your thigh. You might also have a wall nearby. Maybe your hands come to your heart center. Keep breathing, keep focused. Again, maybe you sit down a little bit more. Maybe your forearms start to make their way towards your shin. Keep breathing, keep focused. Not happening for me today, but on the inhale, come on up. Release your arms, release your foot. And again, some nice big circles. So as you're rolling through your hips, and again, we're gonna go 2 or 3 times in each direction, notice like where, if you feel sensation, where is it, right? And then one more time, we're gonna take our hands onto our thighs. Inhale is gonna be up, exhale, you're gonna slide into your forward bend. And do that 2 or 3 times, depending on your breath. Now from here, after you inhale up, we're gonna make our way down onto our bellies. And again, if you're someone who, like your bones poke into the ground, you might have a second mat or fold over your mat in that area. All right, so we're gonna come down onto our bellies. And at first, I just want you to relax. You can have your hands under your head or your arms. I want you to, just like we did at the very beginning, feeling which parts of your body were connected to the floor. Notice which parts of your body are connected to your floor as you're on your belly. And then we're gonna bend both knees and flex the feet and just very slowly start to move your feet side to side. Noticing what happens in the low back, in the pelvis as you do so. Now, eventually we're gonna come to a place in the middle where we stop. And we're gonna take the right foot down to the ground carefully. And you're gonna reach back with your left hand towards your left ankle and take that heel towards your buttock. And if your hand doesn't come there, you're gonna use your strap around the ankle. Okay, and you're still relaxing on your hand or your forearm. And then possibly, depending on how you're holding onto your foot, you might flex that foot, you might hold on to your ankle. And we're gonna start to press the ankle into the hand as you press the forearm into the ground and lift up your chest. So for those of you who know bow pose, this is like a half bow pose, right? Now we're gonna exhale, come down to the ground. We're gonna stretch out the right arm. And this time when you come up, you're gonna press that ankle into the hand and possibly lift up your right arm and leg, right? So inhale, come on up. Keep breathing though, don't hold the breath. Lots of options here. You could keep that hand down, you could keep the leg down, keep breathing, find your focus. On an exhale, we're gonna let it all go gently. Hands come down to the ground. We're gonna press back into a child's pose. And this is a great time to explore and see how your body's feeling. And on one of your inhales, you're gonna make your way forward again. We're gonna bring the forehead again down onto the hands or the forearms. Bend both knees. And this time we're gonna reach back with the right hand towards the right ankle and take your left foot to the floor carefully. And at first, you're just taking the heel towards the buttock. Most of us get a little stretch in our quad. Some of us get a lot. Keep breathing. Maybe another breath or two. Now, when you're ready, if you decide, you're gonna do the next step, maybe your hand's on your ankle, you flex the foot, you're gonna start pressing that ankle into the hand as you press down with your left forearm, chest opens. So this is kind of our half bow pose. You're still breathing fully. On an exhale, we're gonna come down to the ground. And again, if you choose the next step, we're gonna stretch out the left arm and the left leg. On the inhale, you're gonna press right ankle into the hand and lift the left arm and leg. Keep breathing. So we're holding the pose, but the breath continues to move. Again, options, you could take the hand down, you could relax the leg, or you can continue to hold. You're gonna keep breathing though, no matter what. One more breath, and then on an exhale, carefully make your way down to the ground, hands in line with your chest. Press back into your child's pose. And you could have your arms stretched out, or you can wrap your arms around your legs. The idea here is to, relax the lower back, connect to your breath again. Now on an inhale, we're going to make our way up into a kneeling position again. And this is where, if you want to fold over your mat or put a blanket under your knees, we're going to have a block off to the side. You can do this without a block too, right? We're going to stretch out your right leg. So left knee is perpendicular to the ground and your right leg is extended. Then we're going to stretch both arms out. Okay, so you're going to inhale and then reach over. So some of you could take your hand to the floor, you could be on a block. We're going to take that arm all the way over, head, and then you're going to turn your palm up towards the sky like you're trying to lift the ceiling. Keep breathing no matter what though. Then we're going to turn that palm down, inhale on up. Then we're going to exhale over your straight leg. Then we're going to do it a little bit faster. Inhale up, exhale down, arm comes over the head, inhale up, exhale down towards the straight leg. One more time, inhale is up, exhale over, inhale up, exhale over. Now we're going to inhale up and we're going to exhale down towards the floor of the block, and you're going to lift that leg off the ground possibly. Keep breathing. And your arm is pointing towards the ceiling at first, and then we're going to reach it overhead towards the floor. Then you're going to inhale up, take your foot down, and last time exhale over that straight leg. Inhale up, and we're going to bring in your right knee. If you're using a block, you're going to switch it. You're going to pause, notice how you're feeling, and when you're ready, stretch out that left leg, right leg perpendicular to the ground to the best of our ability. Take your arms out, inhale up, exhale towards the floor of the block, arm comes way overhead. And remember, at first we're going to stay here, keep breathing. You're going to take your palm and press up. Like and so here, you can make this really like not muscular at all, or you can really engage your muscles. And there's no right or wrong. It's like, what does my body need today? We're going to turn the palm down, inhale up, exhale over your straight leg. And again, with your own breath, not necessarily in time with me. Inhale is up. Exhale is down, and then inhale up, exhale over your leg. Couple more times with your breath. Now this next time that we come towards the block or the floor, we're going to find our balance and lift that leg. And at first, so you're lifting your left leg and the left arm is pointing up, and then you're going to reach it towards the floor. Keep pressing with that foot. Again, that leg can be really active or not. And on an inhale, we'll come up, foot comes down. Exhale over your straight leg. Inhale up, and then carefully bring that knee in. How's everybody doing? Okay, all right. So now you're going to turn your toes under so that your heels are pointing up. Your feet are about hip width apart behind you. You're going to take your hands onto the low back and point your fingers down and press your elbows in towards one another, like you're trying to exaggerate opening up your chest. Now, for some of us, this is going to be our pose, right? And then for some of you, you're going to start to walk your hands down your butt. The thing that I don't want you to do, notice that my femurs stay perpendicular. I'm not sitting towards my heels, right? So your femurs, your thigh bones stay perpendicular to the ground. Possibly you start to walk your hands down, maybe onto your heels, but you don't drop your butt, okay? You're finding a position that works for your body. Another thing you could do if your hands don't come to your heels, you could have a block which might be a little bit higher than your heels, maybe not, okay? Or you keep pressing your hands into your butt. Chest is open, take your shoulders back, head stays in alignment with your body. On an inhale, we're gonna lift up. Exhale, we're gonna come towards child's pose. So you might flatten your feet and come down towards the ground. So any questions about that? All right. On an inhale, we're gonna do that one more time. We're gonna do it a little bit differently. And again, if your knees are poking, definitely grab a blanket or fold your blanket, your mat. So come on up. And now you're gonna start with your hands on your pelvis, elbows pressing towards one another. And then you're gonna release your right hand, vision towards the right hand. Inhale, you're gonna reach that arm up and follow your hand behind your body. Exhale, back to the center, hand comes onto the pelvis. Slide down the left hand, vision towards the left fingers. Inhale up behind you. Exhale, back to the pelvis. One more time on each side. And you're only going as far as you can still see your hand. Don't overdo it. Exhale back to the center. Last time. Left hand, follow with your eyes. Exhale back to your leg. And then one more time, we're going to come into child's pose. You can have your hands wrapped around your legs or stretched out in front. And then when you're ready, we're going to move back into the same position that we started in, on our backs with our knees bent. If you have like a foam roller or a bolster or rolled blanket, you could put it under your back body, or you can have your back on the ground. So here we are, back body on the ground, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And you're going to take the hands, one hand onto the chest, one hand onto the belly. Inhale, nose, chest, belly. Exhale, belly, chest, nose. It's a great time to check in with like your heart rate, your body temperature, your breathing. How does your body feel right now? Where's your mind? Are you still with me? Now, at the very beginning, we started by so you can release your hands and try to maintain a smooth, long breath. Your feet are about hip width apart. Your knees are still bent. And we're going to start to tilt through the pelvis. So inhale, tilt the pelvis up. Exhale, tilt it down. So your pelvis is staying on the floor. You're just rocking front to back, up to down, eventually we'll come to a place where we pause. Now, I want you to picture that you have a clock drawn underneath your pelvis. So 12 would be behind your belly button, and 6 would be behind your tailbone, and 3 and 9 would be each hip. And I want you to make a circle, keeping your pelvis pressing towards the floor, right? So you're just trying to make a circle with your pelvis. Your knees may move a little bit as you're doing that. Keep breathing. And you're going to pause and go in the opposite direction. And the key here, you're trying to hit those points, 12, 3, 6, 9, or you're going 12, 9, 6, 3, but you're going in a somewhat of a circular motion. And eventually, again, we're going to come to a place where we pause. And the last thing we're going to do before we make our way into Shavasana, let's take your hands onto your thighs. Your feet are still on the floor. Inhale is going to be head and torso on the floor. Exhale, possibly lift your head and your shoulders and slide your hands up your thighs. Inhale, head comes back down and shoulders. Exhale, lift up. If it doesn't work for your body to lift your head, just slide your arms up and down your thighs with your breath. So inhale, arms, possibly upper body lift up. Exhale, come down to the ground. But inhale is down, exhale is up. Sorry about that. Got myself confused. Now, when you feel done, you might want to bring your knees into your chest and roll a little bit. You might want to do something else. You're going to check in with your body. What do you need right now to feel good? And then you're going to make your way into Shavasana. So in Shavasana, corpse pose, or some people call it final relaxation, you just want to be in a position where you're comfortable. You want to make sure your body's warm enough, but not too warm. You might have your legs up the wall and your body on the floor. You might have your knees bent with your feet wide and the knees dropping in towards the center. You might have a bolster or a blanket under your knees, but you're going to get yourself into a comfortable position. And as you settle in, connecting with your breath, long, smooth breaths, allowing yourself to be completely supported by the earth beneath you. So as your awareness comes back to your space, to your body, for just a moment, I want you to notice how you're feeling in your heart center. And you might place your hands over your heart center, or you might just contemplate your heart center. And my invitation for you today is, and those of you who've been around with me for a little while know I say this often, but what would it be like to make your decisions to lead from your heart today, instead of letting your head make all the decisions for you? And so what would that look like? That would look like, me knowing I have to go home and scrub the toilet, and then asking, is that what my heart really wants to do today? And it might be yes, because I really love having my bathroom, And it might be no, what would feel really yummy is to, be outside and, picking the end of the season herbs, because that feels really good. And maybe it's both. But asking yourself, is this the right thing for my heart? Just kind of seeing how your body responds. And so when you're ready, slowly, gently making your way up to a seated position. Pausing for a moment, noticing how your body feels, and where your mind is at, and how your breath is moving. And we'll close with my three favorite sounds, or three of my favorite sounds. Inhaling those arms up towards the sky, exhaling the sound Hu to the heart. Hu. Inhaling, arms out to the sides, palms open. Exhaling the sound Ah to the heart. Ah. Inhaling, scooping up from the earth, the sound Om to the heart. Om. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful day. Namaste. Let's scoot up here, turn this off. All right. You're welcome. Thank you.